Hey, Knicks Nation, how you doing? This is Sincere from Sincere Knicks Fan 34. How are you doing? I'm doing pretty well right now because our New York Knicks done went out there and handled business. They went out and handled business, right? They went out there and did their thing against the Toronto Raptors 119-92. Going over the quick stats real quick is, before we get that whole thing started, if you haven't already, please subscribe, like, and share. I'm at 91 subscribers right now, trying to get to 100. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, whoever gets me to 100, there just wins, right? Beautiful thing, beautiful thing. So with all this being said, like I said, the New York Knicks had defeated the Toronto Raptors 119-92. And just doing the quick stats, and then we hop right on up in there. New York Knicks shot 50% from the field compared to Toronto's 38% from the field. The New York Knicks shot 36.8% from three-point. Toronto shot 26% from three. The New York Knicks shot 83% from the free throw line. The Toronto Raptors shot 86%. The Knicks had 13 offensive rebounds compared to Toronto's 12. The Knicks had 35 defensive rebounds compared to Toronto's 31. So New York Knicks had a grand total of 53 rebounds compared to Toronto's 48. The Knicks had 32 assists compared to Toronto's 20. The Knicks had 12 steals compared to Toronto's 9. The Knicks had 5 blocks compared to Toronto's 8. The New York Knicks had 16 turnovers compared to Toronto's 20. And the New York Knicks had 4 players in double figures. And so did Toronto. Toronto also had 4 players in double figures. Now, the thing is that the players that typically shine with the largest stats actually didn't stand out like that tonight. The ones who stood out tonight, it was not Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns in terms of scoring. They definitely had their times, their moments that shine, those all-star, all-NBA moments that make the difference between a win and a loss. But when it comes to the overall offensive load on this night, the New York Knicks, it was really OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges and even Josh Hart. The New York Knicks really was sharing the ball. I've been talking about that for the longest. Sharing the ball, moving bodies, moving the ball, and being a collective unit. OG Anunoby had 26 points, 6 steals, 5 assists, 2 blocks. Josh Hart had 22 points, shot 63% from the field, and shot 57% from the three-point. Had 6 assists, 2 steals. And Mikal Bridges had 30 points, 4 assists, shot 80% from the field, shot 66 from 3. And what I saw, because I'm going to talk about Karl-Anthony Towns and I'm going to talk about Brunson. Karl-Anthony Towns had 8 points, 22 rebounds, 7 offensive rebounds, 1 block. Brunson had 13 points, 4 assists, and 4 turnovers in the game. Now, again, Karl-Anthony Towns and Brunson are usually the ones who have the offensive load on their shoulders. But on this night, they really shared the wealth, and it was appreciated. We just came off of a Sacramento game. I would have done my video last night about Sacramento, but I just figured I'd just piece it all together because I wanted to compare both games to previous games. So when we went against Sacramento, our defense, like that, number one, that Sacramento game was sloppy. Sloppy, but we won. And I'm happy about that, right? So I'm really happy about that situation. That's why I held off, because I wanted to see how the Knicks were going to play against Toronto. For a number of reasons. Number one, we already beat 76ers, right? We beat Philly. Us going against Toronto, Toronto is the team that's right under Detroit. So it's already an Eastern Conference rival, and we're trying to get back in the driver's seat so we can get back in position for the playoffs. So today was a real one. I consider this was a statement game. This was a statement game for the New York Knicks, and we needed it, and we showed up. And we showed up the way I was hoping, playing together, playing defense. Now, we started off slow, which has been the Knicks' nemesis all season long. So I really wasn't surprised, but I do like how quickly we started picking up the momentum throughout the course of the game. I saw that. I felt that. Coming into the third quarter, you really started to feel that momentum shift. And by the time the fourth quarter hit, the game was really in the hands of the New York Knicks. You actually felt the New York Knicks was like trotting along, just gaining and gaining and gaining. You know what I'm saying? I'm hoping I'm giving you that real vibe right there. Like we were just closing in on them. And we made that transition. And by that point in time, between our defense and the body movement and the ball movement and really maximizing on their turnovers, we were able to not only regain the lead, but then expand it. I think we went on a 24 to like 4 run, something like that. And I mean, and we were down by 12. You know, at one point I had people texting me like, this game is over. This is ridiculous. I'm like, just hold on, hold faith, baby. Hold on, right? Hold on. I'd be like I'm in church. Just hold on. But we did what we needed to do, and we did it by committee. We rebounded. We created deflections, created blocks, created turnovers, and we showed effort. We showed true effort throughout the majority of the game. I never felt like there was lack of effort, and that's what the New York Knicks showed, not just in Sacramento, which is a bottom-dwelling team, right? But now we've demonstrated that same level of hustle and tenacity and defense that we have been lacking for the last 11 games, right? And that 11-game stretch where we was just losing games, we didn't have that tenacity, and we stepped up tonight. We stepped up tonight, and we stepped up in Sacramento. No one's going to think about Sacramento because they are a losing lottery-dwelling type team. But we did our thing against Philly, we did our thing against Sacramento, and now we have just cooled off one of the hottest teams in the East in the Toronto Raptors. So once again, I was talking about that reality stone. The reality is the New York Knicks, the mentality is back. But now it's about creating consistency. It's now about continuing the stretch of wins, and we can go do that. And I know there's all this chatter about Giannis and all this chatter about who we might get in a trade. I like what we have. I like what we have. And I got no problem with anybody saying I want this person, that person. If you want Giannis to be on the New York Knicks, put it in the comments. You know what I'm saying? If you want someone else to be on the New York Knicks, put it in the comments. I love to have the conversation with you. You know what I'm saying? The idea is this. At the end of the day, right now, it's about building up the momentum, building up, stacking up wins. That's what it's about right here, right now. We're not allowed to go and play guess who. We have to collect wins. And that's what we got today. But this win was more impactful because this was against a quality team that was blazing through their last bit of competition in the last 2, maybe even 3 weeks. They've been destroying teams out there and steadily making themselves a real competitive force for the playoffs. So for the fact that our New York Knicks went out there and took it in Canada, in Toronto, right? I'm hyped about that. We did our thing and we stepped up the way we're supposed to. And we just got to continue doing that. So all that being said, I'm happy. My New York Knicks, we're doing our thing. Do I want Giannis? There's a part of me that wants Giannis, and there's a part of me that's like, you know what? You had a chance to make up your mind this past summer. Man, go somewhere else with that. I want somebody who wants to be in New York. Somebody who would have told ownership, yo, send me to New York. I don't really want him. You know what I'm saying? I shouldn't say I don't really want him. If we get him, I'm not going to be mad. But I want a certain mentality that's coming in. I know he's a competitor. I recognize that. But the idea is I'm cool overall with what we have. I think we have what it takes to be successful with what we got. So if we do get a Giannis deal, cool. All right, it is what it is. But if we don't make that move, that particular move, I'm okay too. Yabusele, I'll help you pack, bro. You know what I'm saying? Dadier, I already got the cab waiting for you. All right? With all that being said, go Knicks. Let's get it. Let's go to the next one. All right? I'll talk to y'all later. Y'all have a good one.